you so much, everyone, for staying with us. So let's now break it down for you. You saw what happened today, how Governor Siminalayi Fubara was received into Port Harcourt. And so I'm trying to imagine what exactly is it for those who received him. Is it a jubilation of the end of the emergency rule, or the fact that they've missed Governor Fubara? Is it so loved, or is it the fact that the people are now expecting that democratic governance is returned to the center? Where exactly are the feelings? Let's get a sense of one of those who have been in the forefront of fighting for a Fubara return to office. He's one of the elders, one person who made the raised an alarm that Fubara was missing because he was not seen. It's Chief Sara-Igbe, one of the elders in Rivers State. Thank you so much, Chief Igbe, for joining us tonight. Thank you so much. I mean, what does this mean for Rivers people? And you can see the jubilation and how they welcome Governor Fubara. Is there any significance to this?
Well, since yesterday, the people of Rivers State are happy and they are jubilating because it is a known fact that they missed their governor, the governor they elected themselves. And since he has come back, or since they promised bringing him back, there is this tendency of everybody being happy to try to see him. And I think they are jubilating because they believe that in the past 6 months, development has stopped in River State. The solar administrator that came never did anything in River State, and all the projects are coming to a halt. And so now that same has returned, that is this belief that, oh, the savior has come back, that projects will now be coming up across the state. So that is why I see all the jubilations across the state, and people are sincerely.
On one hand, the jubilation. On the other hand, is the political party affiliation love and support. Which one? Do you think that this crowd that we are seeing today, is it a mix of just ordinary supporters, or they are majorly party people?
Well, so far as I know, the crowd you are seeing, they are genuine party affiliate or something. But Rivers people are coming out in their numbers to express their love for the governor, and also to send a signal to Nigeria that same Fubara is the key to whatever you can say that will happen in the state. And we believe that there is nothing to go about it, that genuine love for him.
Chief Igbe, do you think in your own mind that truly peace has returned to Rivers?
Well, we all believe that peace has returned, because if you recall, Central Television had a workshop where I came out to say, look, what we did in Rivers State is now peace. And I called Wike to call his godson into his private room, lock the door, and let two of them resolve and come back and tell us. And I also advised him to go back to say to Wike and let them make peace. That evening, Wike responded and said, yes, same is his boy, and let them make peace. So Rivers people are very happy that Same and Wike have met and resolved their differences. And to that extent, the Assembly had also met with Same, and they have resolved their differences. So we believe that peace has returned, and we want to sustain that peace. We want Same to reach out to the Assembly once again, and to Wike and everybody that we feel is opposed to him, to ensure that there is peace in the state, because that is the only way development can go round in the state. Where there is no peace, there cannot be development. We have all seen, and they have also learned their lessons. Both parties have seen they have learned their lessons, because of the crisis, somebody who is not from Rivers State came in and plundered our resources without any significant development in the state. And since we have democracy now in Rivers State, I think we are satisfied. I will encourage all of them to make sure there is peace in the state.
So if you look at it, there are those, when you say plunder, is that a fair statement for someone who came on a rescue mission for that a 6-month hiatus? So in Rivers, could that be fair on the administrator when you say plunder the resources? He was asked to come and take up a very difficult job that a lot of people might not want to accept.
I don't know what job he did, because Rivers State has been very peaceful before he came. It has been very peaceful till he left. If there is need for democracy, emergency rule, I think that should be in Borno, Benue, Plateau, Nasarawa, or other northern part of the country, right? The National Assembly, they don't know that Section 11(4) tied their hand, because it's very clear that, yes, they have to make laws for the state in the absence of the House of Assembly, but they cannot make laws to remove the governor or deputy governor. Section 305 is also very clear. They don't empower anybody to remove governor, deputy governor, or House of Assembly. But for us in Rivers State, that is no longer the issue. The issue is our son has returned, and we are appealing to everybody to work with him closely so that we can develop our state. Let him build bridges across to all stakeholders, including those who had issues with him at one time or the other. And let them also reciprocate his gesture of making peace, so that peace can come. But for the sole administrator, I, as a person, cannot say the feasible things he did. We cannot say, he cannot point to anything he did in Rivers State as at the time he left. So 6 months was enough. Same build roads that don't last 6 months. There are legacy projects that we are all stalled. And I think the same has come, and those projects will now continue to work.
Now, are you one of those who are saying we need to know what happened in that 6 months? Accountability in governance, the finances, the state of affairs, there needs to be an account. Are you one of those? And if that is the case, who should look into that? Who should be responsible in looking into what happened in that 6 months? Is it the House of Assembly, or the president who appointed, or the governor who is the leader of the state? In your own sense, what do you think should happen? Or we should just say bygone be bygones, the 6 months is behind us, and let's move forward?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, we don't have judiciary in Nigeria, so there is no point going into issues that the judiciary will not attend to, or they will be reckless with.
Judiciary, sir? That may not be factual. We have judiciary,
I'm saying the judiciary is sleeping on duty, and they are now an appendix to the presidency. Likewise, the National Assembly is an appendix to the presidency. They are no longer doing what is right. So, to me, in my own judgment. And therefore, there is no point wasting your time to say you're probing him. But if at all there should be probe on the administration of the federal administrator, there are institutions like the EFCC, ICPC, the National Assembly, or the House of Assembly. The governor should not bother himself at all with probing the federal administrator. He should concern himself with peace building and how to bring development across the state. That is my advice to the government. Should not disturb himself at all. Let the House of duty it is to investigate. Let the duty of the National Assembly duty it is to investigate. And let the EFCC, because my fear, even if they investigate and send to the judiciary, to still come back to square one. And so there's no point. But if they want to investigate, let them investigate, and let's see whether the judiciary will become a new judiciary.
See what those who are giving credit to President Bola Tinubu, that even not for him, a lot bad things would have happened in Rivers State. And see what the governor said. The governor said, quote, "Personally, I will never take Mr. President's kindness for granted. And for that, I hereby reaffirm my utmost loyalty and eternal gratitude." And of course, those are the words of Governor Siminalayi Fubara. Do you agree with him?
Well, you know, Sim is the most peaceful man I've seen on this earth. A very simple man, very peaceful person. If you look at all the crises, Sim never fought back Wike or the assembly member. Sim was only defending himself. He's such a peace-lovely man. He never challenged the emergency room, and he was so loyal. So that is what is going in for him. That's why the people love him. Because when you are the peacemaker, you are a peaceful person. The Bible says, because the peaceful people will get peace. So the rulers people are so down, because for a peaceful man like this, a governor who has enormous power, and he never uses power. So we believe he will be a better person for us to rule the state, because it's not bothered about powers, it's not bothered about wealth. He believes in service. So whatever decision he has taken, so to us is good for the state. And that is why we are saying, don't bother yourself with proving anything, but continue to go ahead to develop the state. Because we might have different opinions, but our opinion does not matter at this stage. We are going to change our stance. When at the time we were saying no, now we're all saying yes, let peace return. Whatever happens, we can enjoy each other. We can tolerate each other. We can dialogue with each other and achieve that peace we need in Rivers State. And that is what I stand for also. And that's what the majority of Rivers people also stand for, that we need dialogue and we need peace to reign in the state.
I mean, you are not one of those who will give credit. If not for what Bola Tinubu did, Rivers would have been on fire. But, I mean, and perhaps what Governor Fubara is saying is that he thanked him for the effort, and he's not going to take it for granted. And those who are saying Rivers people need to thank Bola Tinubu for his effort. If not, Rivers would have burned.
Well, the governor and the president are chief security officers. Maybe they have more information that we don't have. But they see more things we don't see. And so if Fubara decide to thank Mr. President because of what he saw, which we did not see, no problem. And at this stage, we are not even apportioning blame to anybody. Rivers were not interested in apportioning blame to anybody. So far as we are concerned, our government is back, and we want to get peace. Our focus attention today now is how do we drive that peace process in such a manner that all parties will be key into it, and progress will come into River State. That is our concern. We are not ready to share blame. We are not apportioning blame to anybody. It has happened. It has happened. It's bygone now. Let's move ahead.
You are one of those who spoke profusely against the politics of Nyesom Wike. But, I mean, yesterday on the program, the FCT minister said, well, he's made peace and they are going to work harmoniously. Are you happy with that understanding?
Well, like I said, I thank Nyesom Wike for honoring his words when, after my interview, he said to make peace. I thank him for that. I also thank the people like my uncle, Chief Anabs who have behind him and have also approved that as we peace. The likes of O.C. Jokusha, the likes of O.C. Real Majesty, as I would say, who all came up with him to make sure we have this peace. I thank them. I thank the National Assembly also for also agreeing to make peace. Because if they are not agreeing to make peace, maybe we'll still be fighting ourselves and a stranger will still be there enjoying our wealth. But since they've all agreed to make peace, for me, that is the greatest thing I can say, because that is more important to me than what has happened in the past. What has happened in the past has gone. We are no longer interested in the past, we are interested in the present. And the present now, every River son and daughter wants peace, including the assembly members, Buke himself, and other leaders, because peace is paramount, peace is the key to development, and is the key to progress. So since they've all key to that peace, we forgive everybody, and they're also ready to forgive all of us who at one time or the other stood against what was going on in the States.
I mean, my big fear is this. Anyone who understands and knows and been monitoring Rivers politics for a long time coming, we know that Rivers politics is so intense and very volatile a lot of the times. How do we guard against the kind of thing that happened over the last few months? That is not happening again. Is there a way, or is there anything that could be done such that we don't see the escalation of political bickering and violence that we saw, which in any case had the bar and stop the wheel of governance and progress in the state dramatically?
Well, I have been in politics for about 45, 46 years. No matter what happens in River State, when we come together, we see ourselves as brothers. We are not as volatile as I sure that we should be. About 45, 46 years experience, 1979 to today, you can see us eating together, drinking together. I will recall in 1983, I contested against Anabs Sara-Igbe and Benimo. And we are contesting against each other, but we are still drinking together, we are still eating together. And that is the kind of politics we play in River State. We play politics without bitterness. And so whatever people think that is going to happen in River State is not the style of River State. I've never seen where we go to the extreme of burning down houses, destroying ourselves because we disagree. Politics is all about agreement and disagreement. We all have our own view, we all have our opinion, and that is what we have been doing all this while. We don't fight ourselves to the point of death. The years on which my friend, we used to eat together, and I believe after now we can still eat together. I have nothing against him, he has nothing against me. All right, like I said, Freddy Anabra is my uncle, but we disagreed on principle. Today, when we go home, we work in the same family, in the same house, we eat together, we do everything together. That's the politics we play in River State. We don't play politics with others. And so, now that there is peace, that peace definitely will go down with the grassroots. And everybody will welcome it and work together as one family. We are one family, and we don't need to behave like those other people who see themselves as enemies. We are not enemies. Today, politics is not a permanent friend, no permanent friend, no permanent enemy. And so, it's something that is always dynamic. So if we disagree today, does not mean we will not agree tomorrow. So we have disagreed to agree now. Yeah. And I believe that peace is what everybody needs to realize.
For some of us who have dodged bullets in governing elections in Rivers State, know that some of the disagreement that you have in that state when it comes to politics, some of us, we see it as it looks like war. Maybe it's normal to you, but it's abnormal to some of us. I've dodged bullets have gone across my head. I've almost lost my life covering election in Nigeria, either in Bayelsa or Rivers. In fact, Rivers is the most intense that I've seen. I mean, I've had my colleague who had literally in the jugular and almost lost his life in Rivers politics. So, Chief Igbe, when you say that when you your disagreement is like war in other climes, well, and it's not a joke, but on the final note, Chief Igbe, this is how I'd like us to anchor. Not a joke, but on the final note, Chief Igbe, this is how I'd like us to anchor. What I would like you to tell us is, what lesson do you think this has for Governor Sim Fubara? What lesson? What is the biggest lesson in all of this?
The lesson I have learned from Fubara is a very patient person. He's not a desperate politician, right? So I have learned a lot because he will tell you peace. He's a peace-loving governor. Despite the powers he has, he never exercised his power. He's very peaceful, very enduring, and always smiling. And he's very confident of himself. And even if you advise him, look, this would harm you, he said, leave it. Leave it. We will resolve it. We will resolve it. And today we're happy that things are being resolved. Because if it's a younger person than me, but sometimes you can be angry. And the same will tell you, don't be angry, forget it. We are the same persons, and we can resolve it. I can tell you, there was a time some of us asked him to even take the assembly members to court for perjury. He said, drop it. Don't go think of that. We are one family. We are the same brothers. We are the same friends. Why must I praise anybody? So if the character like that is the head, you can see that peace will always be there. And I think so many people have learned that lesson, that the man we have as a governor is a peaceful person. And so we will also be peaceful with him.
We wish the Rivers people peace indeed. Some of us have seen the worst of Rivers politics, and we hope that those dark days will no return. Thank you so much. Chief Sara-Igbe is an elder in Rivers State affairs. Thank you so much indeed for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much for finding time to hold it down. But